Hey everyone, this is Alexander from the United States of America, and welcome to Ascension Music's review and reaction to the second semifinal of Eurovision 2017. So the first country to perform was Serbia, Tiana with In Too Deep. It was a really good performance. The song is a good pop song, Tiana is a good singer, and the performance was good. The only problem is everything about Serbia is just good. It's not great, and unfortunately, in such a strong semifinal, you need great to make it to the final. So I can't say I'm too surprised that Serbia failed to make it. Plus, they were first in the running order and may have been forgotten. I did enjoy the performance. I liked that one guy who was doing all the stunts and moving around the stage. He was elegant. I really enjoyed it. Again, there was nothing really to criticize about Serbia. It was good. It just wasn't strong enough compared to the rest, and so I'm not surprised that Serbia failed to make it, even though if they had made it, I'd be happy for them as well. Next up was Austria, Nathan Trent with Running on Air. Well, the melody of the song Running on Air itself isn't that great to me. It sounds like a very generic kind of American shopping mall track. But, that being said, the lyrics are very inspirational and uplifting, and Nathan is just a charming and charismatic performer. The staging was good with the half moon. It was just overall a good performance, and honestly, I do believe Austria is a deserving qualifier. Next up was Macedonia, Jana Brčeska with Dance Alone. Well, you can't really talk about Macedonia by just talking about the performance, because the big headline was that Jana's fiancé or boyfriend proposed to her on the night, and that was amazing. I feel so happy for Jana. That was a really cool moment, unexpected for me, probably unexpected for her as well. Yeah, really awesome, and despite the fact that Macedonia failed to qualify, I'm sure Jana is very happy overall at what happened tonight. I'm sure the fact that she didn't qualify is not on the top of her mind right now. That's an amazing thing. So congratulations, Jana. As for the performance itself, I thought it was good. I don't think having more people on the stage would have been a good thing because the song is Dance Alone, so I'm fine that Jana was by herself. I think she performed well overall. There were some vocal issues, and I don't know if that caused an impact, especially with the juries. The other thing is, I think she was trying too hard to rely on sex appeal to go to the final, and so I think maybe Macedonia was trying too hard and it backfired a little bit. So, personally, Macedonia, like I mentioned a minute ago, was my fourth favorite out of this semifinal, so I am a little disappointed that they failed to qualify. I do believe they were deserving qualifiers. The song is amazing. It's so catchy. It's my favorite upbeat pop song out of this group and possibly out of Eurovision 2017. Okay, well, maybe Italy is, but Macedonia is up there at least. And yeah, the performance, I guess, just wasn't enough to make it. Plus, third in the running order didn't help them either. Well, I'm sorry that Macedonia is out of the final, but at the same time, I can understand that it wasn't enough. But regardless, Dance Alone is a great track, mixture of 80s and contemporary, and I'll continue to listen to it in my free time. Moving right along, we reach Malta, Claudia with Breathlessly. This was a really heartfelt ballad, and Claudia performed really well. I could feel the emotion. Some of the people around me watching the show also really loved Malta's performance. It was a great performance, great ballad, great vocals. Everything was great about it. Just, I guess the song isn't dynamic or exciting enough for many people, especially young people, to have voted for it. Again, it was a very strong semifinal lineup, and I guess Malta, just like Ireland, kind of got lost in the mix. And it happens. But overall, Malta should be proud of their performance. They did everything right. The song is good. It just wasn't spectacular enough to qualify. Next up, we had Romania, Ilinka and Alex with the song Yodel It. Well, this is such a fun and charming and cute song. I know some people really hate it and get annoyed by it. I think it's great. Obviously, they were gearing the performance towards kids, and I really liked the performance with the cannons and all that. Ilinka and Alex both sounded pretty good. It was just so happy. They have good charisma on stage, and honestly, I felt happy watching it, and that's what Eurovision is all about, right? So I would definitely say Romania is a deserving qualifier, and I look forward to watching the performance again on Saturday. Next, we have the Netherlands. Well, the Three Sisters and their song Lights and Shadows, well, the message of the lyrics is very nice, and of course their vocal harmonies were great. But I think this is one of the weakest of the songs that qualified, and I would have rather seen another country qualify instead of the Netherlands. Now, if you like this song, don't get me wrong, it's not that I have a problem with this or I dislike it or anything. I think it's a good act. The lyrics are good, the vocal harmonies are good, and everything. I just don't think it was strong enough to be in the top 10. I guess the juries put it through because of the sisters' vocal harmonies, because the melody of the song, in my opinion, is not that great. It's not bad or anything, but it's not memorable. It's not that melodic, and if you look at all of the other songs and performances tonight, I think there were some that were better that the Netherlands obviously beat to the final. So it's a shame that the Netherlands made it, in my personal opinion, instead of some of the others, but that's how it is. I know fans of the song and of the trio will be happy for them, so it is what it is, right? The performance, too, it wasn't that great. I mean, they had some of the lyrics on the screen so people could know what the song was about, and I thought that was nice, but again, it didn't seem like they put too much effort into the staging. The girls gave their all in the live performance, but I'm just saying the staging wasn't that great, and there were some songs with better staging, like Switzerland and even Serbia that come to mind, that did worse than the Netherlands, and that the Netherlands is taking a spot in the final from. So, yeah, I'm not too happy that the Netherlands made it, but hey, it's just entertainment at the end of the day, and I'm sure the Dutch are happy, so congratulations. Next, we move to a country that impressed me very much, and that was Hungary, Josie Papai with Origo. This song and the live performance in the second semifinal, they were both masterpieces. Wow. The song itself is basically perfect, just how emotional and heartfelt, and the message, and the fact that it was self-written, and the use of the drum, and the violin, and the electronic beats, and the rapping, just everything is great about the song itself, but the live performance really delivered. Josie, you could really feel him in that song. He gave it his all. His vocals were great. The choreography was great, not too different from the Hungarian national selection, but still, with the Roma dancer, it was perfect, really. Very synchronized with the beat, just great camera angles. Everything was synced and timed perfectly. I keep on saying the word perfect, right? Well, yeah, the Hungarian performance was perfect, and I'm so happy they made it to the final. And I can honestly see top 10 for Hungary. I don't know if it'll happen, but if Hungary reaches the top 10, or even the top 5 on Saturday, I think they deserve it. Now we go from Hungary to a country that I'm not sure deserved to qualify, and that is Denmark, Anya with Where I Am. Well, it's a very sweet performance in a sense, and the song, just like the Netherlands, has good lyrics, and overall, I like it. I don't have any problem with it or anything, but I believe it was one of the weaker acts of the evening, and just like the Netherlands, I feel like Denmark should not have qualified because Denmark is qualifying over some better acts that failed to qualify, at least in my personal opinion. Again, I know fans of the song and of Denmark will be happy, and I'm happy for them too. Hey, congratulations, but it wasn't one of my favorite performances of the night. It's not one of my favorite songs either, though, so I may be a bit biased. I will say, on the positive side, though, that Anya did not screech as much in her live performance as she did in the Danish national selection, so I do think Anya toned it down a bit, and it made it more pleasant to listen to, but overall, yeah, I personally, if I was like the judge, let's say there was one judge for the second semifinal, if I were the judge, I wouldn't have qualified it, but obviously it was appreciated. Next up, we go to my fifth favorite entry, and that was Ireland, Brendan Murray with the ballad Dying to Try. Well, my comments on this are very similar to Malta. Brendan had a really nice performance. I think his vocals were a little bit off. They weren't terrible or anything, but I believe Brendan didn't sing his ballad quite as good as Claudia did, but still it was a good performance, and Dying to Try is my fifth favorite song out of this semifinal, so again, I'm a little bit disappointed that it failed to qualify, but at the same time, I didn't really think it would qualify, so I guess I'm not surprised that it didn't, but it's a shame Ireland's been out of the final so many years in a row now, but that's the way it goes. And yeah, I appreciate the song. I appreciated the performance. I think Ireland could have done a little bit more with their performance. I mean, the balloon was okay, but like launching it into the ceiling or something may have been a little more interesting. They tried, but I guess their effort wasn't strong enough, even though it was still really good. We now go to a country that nobody thought of much going in, including myself, but they really delivered a good live performance, and that is San Marino, Valentina Monetta and Jimmy Wilson with Spirit of the Night. So, along with Malta and Lithuania, San Marino was one of the three countries in my prediction video that I predicted had no chance whatsoever of making it to the final. And none of those three countries actually did make it to the final, so at least in that part of my prediction I was correct. Other parts of my prediction I was not so correct, but that part was. And yeah, I wasn't expecting much out of San Marino. It wasn't one of the acts I was looking forward to before coming into the second semifinal, but when they came on, they were actually really good, especially Jimmy Wilson. I mean, we know Valentina can sing. She's done a good job in her previous 3 appearances at Eurovision, but Jimmy really brought on the fire, and yeah, they made a song that's not that great of a song into a really nice performance and very entertaining performance. So even though I had really not thought anything of San Marino before the night, I actually grew to appreciate it just because of how good their live performance was. Jimmy's vocals were 100% perfect, just kind of like Josie from Hungary, and Claudia as well from Malta. So yeah, great job, guys. Unfortunately, the song just wasn't good enough to make it, but San Marino should be proud of you. And now we move on to Croatia, my second favorite song going into this, underappreciated by many Eurovision fans and predicted not to qualify to the final, but defying all the odds, Jack Hudek and his song My Friend made it to the final, and I am so happy. This is the best result to come out of the second semifinal in my personal opinion, simply because most people had written Croatia off. And yes, Croatia made it. I guess the Pavarotti fans, the opera fans, the Disney fans, the cheesy music fans, the positive lyrics fans, they all came out from the shadows, or maybe the jurors as well, and they got this song into the final. Croatia is a very deserving finalist in my opinion. The song is uplifting, inspirational. The music is good. Jack's ability to switch between different voices and 2 different languages is amazing. It's just a great act, and I'm very happy it made it to the final, despite what many people think. And hey, if you don't like this song, that's fine by me as well. I don't like the Netherlands and Denmark, you know. Different people have different tastes, but I do believe Croatia was a deserving qualifier. Their live performance was good. Jack was a little bit off in a couple moments. I can't say he was as perfect as Jimmy or Claudia or Josie, but still Jack did a great job, and I'm happy with it. And the sunflowers and the rainbow at the end and the violin and the cello, they're all wonderful elements of a great performance. So congratulations, Croatia. You're the only ex-Yugoslavia country to make it to the final, so congratulations there as well. Next up was Norway. So the song Grab the Moment by Joust and Alexander Wallman was not in my personal top 10 coming into this. It was actually in 11th, but like I said, I like more than 10 of the songs. So I did like it, but it wasn't one of my favorites. But wow, their live performance was great, especially Alexander, because let's face it, Joust doesn't have to do much, but Alexander, his vocals were great. He exuded so much confidence and charisma. It was a great performance. It really exceeded my expectations, kind of like San Marino. They did a much better job than I thought. And I've seen the Melody Grand Prix final performance as well, but they still did a great job. And yes, Norway is a very deserving qualifier in my opinion, just because of how good the live performance was, even though it's not one of my top songs in this semifinal. But yeah, I think it was smart that the producers put Norway right after Croatia, because they were able to balance kind of the operatic with the modern DJ track to appeal to as many different types of viewers as possible. And now we move on to Switzerland, which is a country that I feel deserved to make it to the final, but didn't. Time Bell with Apollo, well, the song is pretty good. It's not the best song in the semifinal by any means, but it was in my top 10. And I felt it was a deserving qualifier. The live performance and the staging did not disappoint. Marina sounded perfect. She gave an excellent vocal performance. She did even more than what's in the studio version. And the staging was good with the staircase and all that. Really a good performance and a good song. I guess it's like Serbia. It is a little bit generic despite the fact that it's good. And so I guess the generic element of Apollo just made it not innovative enough for people to actually feel like voting for it. Even though I'm sure most people who watched the semifinal appreciated the act, I guess it just wasn't enough for them to say, you know what, this is the one I'm going to vote for. Same thing with the juries. They may have liked it, but they may have thought, well, some of the others are better. So I do feel kind of sorry that Switzerland didn't make it, but at the same time, I understand why they didn't. But still, I believe they would have been a better qualifier than the Netherlands or Denmark. And now we move on to a country that did qualify, and very much deservingly so. And that is Navi Band with the song Story of My Life, sung in Belarusian with folk and ethnic elements, and just a very cheerful, charming, cute and happy-go-lucky song. Well, Belarus should be really proud with this performance because it's very Belarusian, and not even Russian, but Belarusian, because it's the first song in Eurovision history to be performed in that language. And yeah, the two members of Navi Band, they were so upbeat and cheerful. They did a great job performing it. The song is just something that makes you want to smile. And even though Belarus isn't in my personal top 10 because it's not necessarily the type of music I would gravitate to the first on my iPod, I still really am happy that they qualified to the final because just the whole theme of it is great and something that the Eurovision final deserves. Because think about the message Europe would be sending if Belarus failed to qualify with that song. They'd be saying that something that's different, something that's ethnic, something that's proud of one's heritage and folk related and cheerful and happy and upbeat is not appreciated by Europe. And that would be a big shame, so I'm very happy Navi Band made it. And another country that I'm very happy made it to the final is Bulgaria, my personal favorite in my top 18, link in the video description by the way. Yeah, Bulgaria. Christian Kostov did an excellent job performing Beautiful Mess, just like Jimmy and Alexander Wallman and Josie Papai and Claudia. His vocal performance was perfect. I didn't notice a single flaw in Christian's vocal performance, and the fact that he's 17 makes it even more impressive. Of course, Isaiah from Australia and Blanche from Belgium are also 17, but they had a few hiccups in their semifinal 1 performances. Christian did not. The song is really good, very contemporary, very innovative. Christian did a great job. He wasn't nervous. He was perfect as a performer. The only thing I would say about Bulgaria is that the staging looks a little cheap. I feel like Bulgaria could have maybe spent a little bit more money on their performance, especially when you look at some of the other performances. But overall, with the LED effects and the digital effects and the rain and all that, it's a good staging, it's a good performance, and maybe they wanted something minimalistic to kind of really highlight him and stand out from all of the gimmicks of the other acts. Because, you know, we had a ladder from Azerbaijan, we had a staircase from Switzerland, we had a balloon from Ireland, we had cannons from Romania, we had a half moon from Austria, all sorts of things you could call gimmicks, and I guess Bulgaria was feeling like, no gimmicks, we want to really highlight Christian, and maybe they thought the minimalistic approach would garner more attention and people would respect it more. Overall, a really good performance from Bulgaria, and this is a contender to win the entire Eurovision, and honestly, I would be very happy for Sofia 2018. We now go from the song that I thought was the best in this semifinal to the song that I thought was the worst in this semifinal, and that is Lithuania, Fuse Mark with Reign of Revolution. Lithuania, it just wasn't that good. Reign of Revolution, I will say I do appreciate the creative elements. They're trying to do some 70s, 80s modern fusion song, and they're trying to be alternative and experimental and not generic, so I appreciate the fact that it's not generic, but overall, it's just not for me. And the lead singer of the band, like, she's eccentric, I'll put it that way, thumping on her chest with her microphone and all of the yeah and her huge claws, and she was something else. I'll just leave it at that. So can't say I loved it, but hey, I appreciate that Lithuania tried something different this year. And Lithuania, like Malta and San Marino, I knew had no chance of making it, and of course they didn't make it. No surprise there. Next was Estonia, a song I really like, Verona, because it's so catchy and choral and melodic, gets stuck in your head. Well, it's a great song, but the live performance from Koit and Lara was disappointing, and I think their live performance killed Estonia's chances of making it to the final. Neither one of them sounded completely perfect, and we had just heard some really good vocals before, like Christian Kostov and others before him, and so yeah, I just don't think they had a chance as soon as I saw them perform live, even though I did think the song had a really good chance of qualifying before the second semifinal. I just thought that Koit and Lara would do a better job at performing, but I don't know what happened. They were nervous or what, but, you know, one comment on WeWeBlog said that the song was half cheesy, half creepy, and I thought that was hilarious, because Koit does make some interesting faces. I'll just leave it at that. And the last country to end the second semifinal was Israel. Imri with I Feel Alive, a very upbeat, a very cheerful performance. Imri is very charismatic. He was winking at the camera, smiling. He definitely got the audience engaged with him, so no surprise that he qualified. It's not one of my favorite songs, even though I do like it. It's not in my personal top 10, simply because it's a bit generic to listen to compared to some of the others, but I have to admit the performance was really nice. I enjoyed watching it, and I really think Israel deserved to make it. Well, I've been talking long enough, guys. That's it for this reaction and review video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be making a lot more Eurovision videos both this year and next, so I hope you consider subscribing to my channel. Just click that subscribe button down below. Give the video a like, and let me know what you thought in the comments about this semifinal. I would love to read your thoughts, and I will reply to all of your comments, of course. Other than that, check out our social media pages, also in the description. You can check out my top 18 and my prediction video for this semifinal, also in the description if you're interested. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.